be here.
Happy Friday.
Finally, yeah, it's been a long,
Yeah.
long, long week, but excited to be here and to be here with the LALA team, which we'll get into. But yeah, welcome everybody. We'll give it a minute for everybody to trickle in. And we're here for another episode of Crypto and Coffee. And today we have for the first half, we have the LALA team here who's sponsoring the first half of our show. We're excited to hear more about what they got going on and for about their drop next week. So definitely excited to hear more. But before we kick it off, let's go around the room. Tammy, how have you been? And here, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. If you don't mind muting your mic. Yep, just so we could get the recording to sound good. Thank you. Tammy, what's going on? How's your week been?
My week has been great. It's been super, super busy, but that's good. Fell asleep last night researching FedNow, so maybe if we have questions on that later, we can chat about it. But yeah, it's been a busy week. How's everybody else's been?
Doing good, doing good. Can't complain. The days are just flying by. What about you, Dow? How's it going? Where are you this week?
Oh, I'm back in Colombia, in Medellin. Still hangover by from Brazil. Still get Brazil on my head, but it's been an interesting week. And as Tammy was saying, Fed now is definitely on my radar. But I just wanted to say, like, the music you had in the beginning was great. Like, I thought it was the weekend, and then it turns out it was something else. But I love those drums.
It is. It was actually. It's just the instrumental. So we'll see how long Twitter lets us play the song. But I typically just try to play the instrumental so we don't get any foul language in any of the songs. But Hiram, welcome. How's your week going?
Hey, good to be here. My week's been like also flying by. Um, I'm in LA right now. It's currently 7 a.m., so I have a giant cup of coffee next to me. But yeah, ready to get started.
So, quick question: what is in your cup? And then I have a few fast fire coffee questions as well.
So today I just went to Starbucks because it's close by and just got a cold brew. So a lot of caffeine packed in. Uh, yeah,
Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts?
Starbucks just because it's close. I'm not part. I'm one of those guys that I'm not partial to one or the other. Just like the one that's more convenient, I guess.
Iced or hot coffee?
Iced coffee most of the time.
An espresso or just Americano?
Espresso 100.
Nice, nice. Good job. Let's give him, he passed. You can stay for the rest of the show. Let's give him a round of
Awesome.
applause. Just kidding, just kidding. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off. Sorry, just me being silly with some coffee stuff. But let's go ahead and kick it off. So here, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for those of you that may have not known, and maybe give an overview of Lala and what's going on.
Absolutely. So, my name is Hiram Vazquez. I'm the founder and CEO of LALA, which is a digital collectibles company that is helping fans of movie and TV shows create a deeper connection to the movies and shows they love by giving them new points of access and ownership. First time that we give fan ownership over major films such as The Wolf of Wall Street, which is our first drop that's coming on next Tuesday, 25th, July 25th. So we're really excited. I incubated this with Alexis Ohanian, former founder of Reddit, while I was working at his fund. And yeah, we're looking to give fans, get rewarded for being fans of these movies and like going to the theater to watch a movie, like get rewarded for their fandom pretty much, which is something interesting, something that's never been done before in the movie TV space. and we think it's the future of entertainment.
Love it, love it. And really quick, Wolf of Wall Street is an icon if you're like into stock trading or crypto trading, just the whole trading scene in general. So if you guys go ahead and drop a comment in the chat bubble, let us know who your favorite Wolf of Wall Street character is. And I know LALA team said they're going to offer a poster from airdrop a poster to somebody for a chance to win a poster. So make sure draw who your favorite character is. But yeah, let's get more into Wolf of Wall Street. So this is the first drop from LALA. So maybe go over how it got started, why Wolf of Wall Street, and talk maybe a little bit more about that journey and that process.
Yeah, absolutely. So beginning 2021, I started working with Alexis at his venture fund, and that's how we met. And we're both collectibles guys, so organically we started talking about what was going on in the Web3 NFT space at the time. Like the Top Shot, the NBA Top Shot was blowing up, Bored Apes, Doodles, all these like blue chip collections were blowing up, and there was like new IP that was driven by the community, and it was becoming $1 billion IP pretty much overnight, right? We started digging into like what was going on, and then two things happened at around that same time. One of them was Alexis bought a Lil Dicky NFT, Lil Dicky the rapper NFT that held royalties from one of his songs, and it was on this marketplace that sells these type of royalties, and that was their first NFT drop, and it was pretty bad UX user experience. So we thought that was an opportunity to make it better. And the other thing that happened around that same time, summer 2021, was that we learned that there's this investor with connections to the entertainment industry, kind of flexing about owning this a revenue stream from a famous 80s movie. And we're like, oh, like how did he get into that? And like apparently it was like these things are being sold to like wealthy individuals, investors, or investment funds. But what about the fans, right? The people that go to the movie, that buy the t-shirt, that make these projects a success? What about them being able to own a piece of these revenue streams? So that's what blockchain would help unlock, and that was kind of like the light bulb moment for me. Is this is something that I really want to do, because it's something access in entertainment is something that's very personal to me. I think I mentioned last time that I was on Crypto and Coffee that I'm from Puerto Rico. I learned English watching movies and TV shows from the US. And however, some of the merch that we're promoting about the movies that I was watching when I was a little kid, or the toys, didn't make it to the island. And the sweepstakes that I was looking in on the back of the cereal boxes always excluded Puerto Rico. So this level of access and bringing this to fans is something that has become very personal to me, and I'm very excited to work on. And then selecting the new IP for the Wolf of Wall Street. It's something that like we were trying to, as you probably would assume, like there's a multiple leads that we're following as we're trying to see like which one would be the one that we will launch with. The Wolf of Wall Street is a modern classic. It's very relevant. 10 years. It's been 10 years since it came out on the movie theaters. And it's still very relevant. There's not a week that goes by where I don't see a Wolf of Wall Street memes on Twitter, on Discord, on Instagram. So people clearly still love it. and it's very much aligned with the Web3 community and the crypto trading, and also like from the GameStop uh, the GameStop days from a few years ago. That became kind of like the mantra. So all these factors played into going with the Wolf of Wall Street.
Awesome. And so you guys are using the NFT as a way to be able to give back to be able to establish the revenue sharing model. But maybe let's talk a little bit about the artistic side of it. So you're also dropping an NFT, you're collaborating with some artists. So maybe you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, or as I mentioned before, access is something that like that's very important, and we're looking at this from all different angles. And when selecting the artists that would work on the Wolf of Wall Street, we wanted someone that maybe traditionally wouldn't have access to this type of IP. So we went with this amazing Peruvian artist who's actually was nominated recently for Best Illustrator in all of Latam. So he's like the real deal. And I saw in his and on his portfolio and Instagram account that he was already taking like still images from magazines or movies, and then his style is like a mix of pop art and surrealist art. And he takes these still images of models or actors and then creates a whole world, a very immersive world around them. Very intricate designs and or art, and like a lot of details in his artwork. So that was perfect for what we wanted to do for the first drop. We wanted to really explore how the Wolf of Wall Street became the Wolf of Wall Street, which is kind of like the first part of the movie when Jordan Belfort goes, arrives at Wall Street on a public bus. Very young Jordan with a lot of dreams and of becoming a big deal in Wall Street and making tons of money. And then how like his moral compass got kind of like deviated in a way or misaligned, and how he became the Wolf of Wall Street, and the different situations, different things that happened from when he first started on Wall Street to getting fired, to then selling penny stocks and meeting all these characters that would help him become the Wolf of Wall Street, creating his firm Stratton Oakmont and becoming the Wolf. So Paulo Torres is the artist. He did a great job at exploring all those themes from the beginning of the movie and the origin story from the wolf. And yeah, we can't wait for y'all to see the artwork.
Excited, looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll definitely get more into the drop. But I do want to go back before I open it up to the rest of the speakers. I want to go back to the IPs and the revenue sharing, right? Because that's been a concept that has been floating around since the inception of NFTs and Web3. And we haven't seen companies actually do this, in my opinion, in a successful way. So as much as you can share, because I know you guys have some secret sauce, could you talk a little bit about how that works and how that's possible to give back the revenue share to the NFT holders?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the reason, at least for us, that we're able to do this. One of the things that a lot of people may not know and make this a little bit simpler is that The Wolf of Wall Street is actually an independent movie. So in terms of dealing with big studios and all the legal hurdles around this on their side, since they haven't really given revenue streams to fans before. The conversations with the Wolf of Wall Street were a little bit simpler in that way, just to acquire the revenue streams to give back to fans. And in terms of the process of doing this, like the revenue streams that we're giving to fans, and it's from the IP enforcement. So the movie can make money from very different sources. The main one is from either movie tickets that were sold for people to go to the movie theater, or merch, that's official merch that's sold. But there's a revenue stream from taking down illegal use of the IP. That's a smaller revenue stream, but with the Wolf of Wall Street being such a big movie, um, if you search Google search Wolf of Wall Street merch, you see a lot of it out there, and the fact is that all of that is bootleg merch. So what we're doing is like preserving the IP from the recovered revenues from taking those down, and then giving it back to the fan community. So this process is something that resemble, it's more of a, like, to be very honest with you, a Web 2 process that we're slowly transitioning to a Web 3 process and making it more automated and all that. But yeah, that's kind of like a give you a behind the scenes of what this looks like. And we actually wrote Medium blog post about it, with giving more details. If you go to lala.xyz and click on blog at the top, you'll be able to find it and read more on this.
Awesome. Great breakdown. And I'll open it up to any of the co-hosts. Welcome, Brooke, as well. Any questions or comments so far?
No, I'm just excited to hear more about it because I'm a huge Wolf of Wall Street fan. So I think this is super dope.
Yeah, same here. I say all those money movies, whether it's The Big Short, Wall Street, Margin Call. I think they reveal a lot about how I guess the system worked, right? And Wolf of Wall Street, in a funny way, does the same thing. So it's very interesting. And I do have a question around the IP, right? Because it sounds like the revenue that comes to Lala comes from this IP infringement. Can you touch on how big the market is, and what you guys do to actually like enforce that or remove that content?
Yeah, absolutely. The revenue stream, it's tough to say how big it is. Like, from historical data, we're giving, and on our blog post, we're using this metaphor of how much to expect from these payouts on a yearly basis. The one thing that I wanted to be very open, and we're very upfront about it, is like, the expectation here is not to get a return in a year or 2 years on the what you spent on buying the collectible, only from the payouts from these revenue streams. There's a possibility that down the line, in a few years, there might be, like a return or of some sort. uh Return on the entire cost of the collectible. But what we're expecting from on a yearly basis is, if you buy, and this is we have 3 tiers for this collection. The lowest price tier, you would expect to receive a payout that's somewhat equivalent to a cup of coffee, or a couple of coffee, which is very relevant to this Twitter space. The mid tier, it would be receive a payout of a couple beers, and then the highest tier would receive a payout equivalent to a couple movie tickets. So that's kind of like the metaphors that we're using to help people kind of get an idea of what to expect. Um, But yeah, based on historical data.
That's interesting, and I'll add to that real quick that I think the use case of intellectual property for NFT is a massive one. And I remember reading about it like a couple of years ago that even Microsoft is looking at using NFTs, for example, as a way to represent copyrights, and to not have different ledgers around the world, to have an immutable proof that you created something or you're owner of certain properties. So I do think potentially with your idea it might be that first way to open the door for movies and studios to look at that use case, but potentially it can expand, right? 'Cause you have one of those slides that talk about licensing. So I think it's one use case that you guys are covering, but potentially it can open to just intellectual property for entertainment in general.
Exactly, and that's something that like by finding and partnering with such a big movie as The Wolf of Wall Street. Now I just got a meeting with the head of Web3 at a major studio that wants to chat just to learn and get educated on what they can do with this technology because they're trying to figure it out and they're trying to they're taking their time to do it the right way, which with the IP that they own and how valuable it is, I don't blame them. So yeah, it's something that we're definitely looking to help them, kind of like advise them, and also show them what we're doing with major IP and how we're helping preserve the IP with these efforts.
Awesome, love it. But yeah, so and I guess I want to touch to the other part of it because yeah, so the IP and the revenue sharing is just a part of it, right? At the end of the day, you guys are trying to create a different, an immersive fan experience. So could you talk a little bit more about the community side of it, about the fan experience side of it, and what else is a part of the LALA ecosystem?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the to we started with the to us what the ultimate level of access is, which is ownership. But that can mean very different things, right? Like it could, in this case, we touch up on the revenue stream, but we're also for the Wolf of Wall Street, which I mentioned never have had official merch. We're creating we as part of the partnership, we're creating official merch for the Wolf of Wall Street, and we're starting with the capsule collection that's going to be exclusive to the token holders from this first drop. But it's a multi-year partnership, so we're going to be producing more items from the Wolf of Wall Street. So you're going to be able to own official merch of the movie, and we're going to have different items that like in the first capsule collection, it'll be adapted from the artwork that Paolo created. So we're taking giving it some different spins to create something new, something refreshing that people will like. Um, you will also be able to get a print printed version of the artwork, which I ordered some samples to make sure that it hits the quality that we expect, and it looks really good. So excited about that. And in terms of other community engagement, we have we have a Discord server that we would love to have people join, where we were gonna organize watch parties for our community members. Also, in-person events. Our first in-person event will be in September. So super excited about that. And we are, I'm missing something else. The coffee's not hitting completely yet. But we're looking to, like partner with these IPs and, give people access to these events that where we will have props from the movie. Even we're currently working on other IPs where it's very possible to give fans access to these props and help like the fans this or the token holders decide what to do with these props, because currently they're sitting uh, in a storage unit, and it'll be great for fans to kind of like decide their fate, and like if it's like having it like go to a museum or any other events for people to see them and really like look at how these movies were made and the different items that made the movie what it is, then that's something that we want to provide. Another thing that down the line that we want to provide, it's similar to how we in this first collection, we kind of curated the artist that would create the collection. We want to provide fans the chance to co-create with this amazing IP. So provide fans the opportunity to create a piece of merch, official piece of merch, and then obviously get compensated for the sales of that piece of merch. We want fans to really like do stuff with the IP, not just consume it. So experience it in person in events or experiences that we organize, or even create with these IP. I think would be really cool personally, and I hope the creators out there would that are also fans would agree with me.
I love that you guys, Hiram, are doing in real life events like that, because I live close to Chicago and there's been several things. The most recent one I can think of is the Friends set that was set up, where they use actual things from the set that people can come and that are huge fans have an immersive experience like that. I think that's amazing. So if you guys could do that and have it maybe move around to different larger cities that people could get to easily, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I while I'm in LA here, I went to see Asteroid City at this movie theater that the movie production company did a takeover of the theater, and it was really cool. They had costumes, they had part of the sets there, and I thought that was great. It was super inspiring to see.
Awesome. I'll open it up again. Brooke, Andrew, any questions or comments?
All I know is that Wolf of Wall Street is very memeable in Web3 and crypto Twitter. So I think this is like the perfect fit. I don't know if you see that a lot, but especially in like when people are down bad or it's a bear market, usually the GIF or the meme comes out of, I'm not fucking
Yeah,
leaving. So this is perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hiram, I have one question as well. Thank you, Jess. Hiram, I'm not sure if this was covered already, but I'll kind of just ask it. The products, the merchandise, is crypto, or are you guys able to set up a feature where crypto can, be leveraged and used to purchase the products and merch?
At the moment, no. It'll be just fiat, but that's something that we're looking at. Definitely to buy these merch items with crypto.
Hiram, there are some, and this is not, I won't even say the name, but there are some kind of tools, brands in this space that offer the ability to actually have your merch and products purchased. Obviously, it's third party. They do take a percentage. The percentage is not great. I'm not going to show them. It's a pretty good, opportunity to do so with them if needed to.
Absolutely. Well, the good news is that if you buy the collectibles, we're bundling at least the capsule collection that we're creating for this drop. We're bundling some, if not all, items as part of the collectible bundle. So we're having 3 tiers with different items being included as part of each tier collectible. So and that you can pay with crypto. So that's a little bit of a workaround. Just if you buy the collectible, you'll receive some merch items as part of it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Andrew's trying to say we're fiat poor. We're most of us here don't hodl our fiat, but no, those are all great points. And then maybe let's talk about, so this is, and we'll get into more about the drop, but before we do, I guess, so you guys picked Wolf of Wall Street for the first drop. What about future draws? Is there going to be any community engagement? Like, will the community be able to maybe participate in choosing what the next IP you guys go after, or how will that work?
Yeah, absolutely. There are many different factors that determine the access that we have to IP. There's already ongoing conversations. I've started having conversations with the major studios a year ago. So these are long conversations. I think like this will speed up now that we're live and people can see what we're doing, and we're already getting some good feedback there. So absolutely, we want the community to have a say, and that's where like something like this, the Discord community comes in, because that's where we're gonna be listening to our community members on receiving feedback on the IP that they would like to see, receiving feedback on the merch that they would like to see. Yes, absolutely. We'll take that in mind, and then do our best to get the IP that the most people want. And this is it's actually very useful to have this information, because then we can turn around, and if let's say that this collection is 2,000 to 225 people, if I can go to the studio of another major film and say, hey, I have 2,200 people that are highly engaged, that want to interact with this movie, or want to buy into a drop from this movie, I'm sure they're going to want to listen to what we have to say. So that's definitely something that I plan on doing.
That's awesome. And just I guess a general question, what's the sentiment when you approach these big companies? Are they looking, because we've seen the shift in monetization for movies and for TV. So are they interested? Are they looking for other revenue streams? What's the feedback you're getting from the studios?
They're definitely interested. They're watching from the sidelines. They have every single studio or major production company have someone internally, or have consultants that are looking into the space and looking at how they can use blockchain for many different purposes, not just from uh, you know fan or customer facing, but also like distribution of film and all that. So they're definitely interested. They're definitely also have expressed over and over again to me that they are seeing the power of community. Like when with these NFT collections and NFT projects blowing up and getting so much support from the community. So they understand the value of it. They just don't know how to plug into it, which is where we come in, and that's part of our pitch, is that we can help them create that connection with the community, and they're interested. They're interested. They want to keep discussing, and um, they want me to keep them posted on how we're doing, and what we're doing. So I think it takes time when it's a company, companies this big, usually move slower, but they understand that this is something that it's the future.
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And just a thought that I had with everything that's happening with like AI and stuff, maybe this is their chance to really like pivot and learn about it. Like we got to figure out what we're going to do. Um,
Exactly.
Andrew, go ahead. I see you have your hand up.
Thanks, Jess. Haram, really quickly to what Jess said, how many of these institutions, companies, these brands, are they using their R&D capital towards these things, or they're not even touching that side and they're kind of just experimenting from a market research standpoint, or are they actually kind of putting where their money where their mouth is?
That's a very good question, and I don't know if I have the answer to that. Like I know, like for example, I don't know if you've seen Warner Brothers has been the one that has continually been doing drops. They recently announced the Flash. They recently did a Superman drop and a Lord of the Rings drop. It's to me, it's not what we as Lala are trying to do. It seems to be a digital copy of the movies, but they're trying something. So props to them to continue to try something. We just think what we're doing is more exciting.
I would agree. And my only issue, Jess, I promise last thing, my only issue with some of what, these big brands and companies are doing is that obviously they view us, to me, in my opinion anyways, they view us as the product, and there can become some problems with that, meaning they're just here for liquidity. Obviously a business, the whole point of a business is to profit, share value, make money, whatever it may be. And I think they just view us as the product opposed to coming into our world and assisting us and vice versa, which that may become a little bit problematic long term, as most people in this space are onboarded to this new world of, this is where the consumers have all the power, etc. And I don't know if the brands are going to want to do that for us with us, because of us. So I this may just be another quote unquote Web 2, gotta stop saying that word, infrastructure play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they understand this, and they understand that their business right now, they're trying to figure out their business model, because like the box office, like releasing movies on theaters is not what it used to be. It's very expensive, and not all movies have the marketing budget that Barbie does, for example. So it's very challenging to have a successful release, or theater release. So they're trying to like figure out other business models like streaming, but they're all, that part, it's still very even though it's been streaming has been here for a good amount of time, they still trying to figure out how to make money from streaming. So yes, the relationship with the fan has always been one-sided, which is extracting value. Now with the competition that they're facing from social media, and like the younger generations prefer to spend their time on TikTok because the user generated content is getting better and better, and it's cheaper to produce, so there's more of it. It's more engaging. So how do you compete with that, right? So our argument to them is, if you really want to get people's attention, then give them a little bit of piece of ownership, and then you'll turn your fans into ambassadors for that movie or that TV show. They're gonna be vested in the success of it. They're gonna talk about it all day, every day to their family, friends, make them watch the show or the movie. So it's gonna have to turn into a two-way relationship. Um, so yeah, I think it's just a matter of time.
Love it. Totally agree. It's definitely been a one-way street for the past. So looking forward to seeing how that evolves in the next few months and years. But then let's get into the drop. So you guys have a drop coming up. Maybe you want to can you talk a little bit about the details of the upcoming drop and how the community can participate?
Absolutely. So the drop again is on July 25th. We have three different windows for on that day. The first window of the pre-sale is at 10 a.m. Eastern. Is for the people that hold a poster that we dropped a few weeks ago. You still have time to claim that poster. It's free, or you have to pay our gas fees. If you have that poster, you get first dibs onto this collection. And the public sale opens at 4 p.m. Eastern on the same day, next Tuesday. And the drop itself, it's 2,225 collectibles, three tiers with three different price points. It's scarcity and perks associated with each, in addition to the percentage of the revenue streams associated with each. So on the lower end of the drop, we have 2,000 collectibles at $95, making it very accessible. This tier has included a printed version of the artwork, discounts on the capsule collection. You can a promo code that you can use to purchase some of the capsule collections, and then access to the Discord community and in-person events, behind the scenes content, and then like a percentage of the revenue stream. Then the mid tier is priced at $199. It's 200 collectibles. With this, you get actually the NFT is an animated version of the artwork. You also get a printed version of the static static version of the artwork printed. You get a T-shirt from the capsule collection, a sticker pack that from the capsule collection that's based on the artwork that looks really good, as well as a discount on other items of merch if you desire to purchase more, and a higher percentage of the revenue stream, in addition to the other utility that I mentioned, the behind the scenes, the Discord, and events access. And then on the higher end, we with only 25 collectibles at $499, you get animated version of the collectible. You get a printed and framed physical copy of the artwork, T-shirt, hat, sticker pack, and all the rest of the merch drop. You get a higher discount if you desire to purchase more merch, and you get the highest percentage points in terms of revenue stream. We actually have a Medium blog post where we detail everything that each tier includes. So you can find that on our Medium blog. If you go to lala.xyz and click on blog, you'll find our Medium blog where you can see the breakdown of all the three different tiers for this drop.
Awesome. Yeah. And those are definitely, I think one of the main challenges for NFT adoptions is some of these NFTs are definitely overpriced. So just making it accessible for a wide audience, I think it's great. And yeah, and you guys are offering a lot of stuff. So definitely a win-win. And I did put up Tammy and I put up some tweets on the top where you can find some of the links. Also, make sure to follow the LALA account. But yeah, so you guys have the drop coming up next week, and then maybe post drop or a few months out or next year, long term. How are you seeing LALA evolve in the Web3 and NFT landscape?
Yeah, that's a good question. Near term, it's all about like giving fans access to these revenue streams, fractionalizing them, and creating that system to pay out to fans and give access to all the things that I mentioned long term. And as the industry evolves, LALA will become the connective tissue between the IP owners and the fans. And by that, I mean that, over time, as fans, as we release more IP collections and fans hold onto them, then we can make sense of, like who has 10 Wolf of Wall Street collectibles in their wallet and have held have held them for the last 2 years, and have bought the merch. So with that, when studios come to us and say, "Hey, I would like to invite," we have this new, let's say there's a sequel for the Wolf of Wall Street or another Wall Street themed movie, and they want to interact with the top fans or the diehard fans, then we can provide a way that to do just that and invite these fans to the screening, an early screening of the movie, or to the premiere, or give them access to a new experience that they're doing for the movie. So those opportunities today, they don't exist because there's no way for studios to connect directly with fans. What we want to do is give them a way that, first, it's not intrusive to the fan, so that the fan agrees and is okay with connecting with studios, connecting with them, and also give them opportunities that it seems like magic. Imagine like for the Barbie movie that's opening this week. I'm sure there's people out there that own huge collection of Barbie dolls from like back in the day. Imagine if the studio had data of who and a way to connect directly with that person that holds hundreds of Barbie dolls, and invite them to the premiere to meet Margot Robbie. That would feel like magic, right? So with blockchain technology and NFTs, you can actually do that. So that's what we're going for.
Love it. And any comments about any comments just in general about mass adoption and getting out there to the masses? I know you guys made it pretty simple to like onboard new users. How important do you think that is to bring more people into the ecosystem?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's a challenge, right? Because the tools to make the user experience seamless, the way that a lot of Web 2 applications or websites or platforms are being built. So these tools are being built as we are trying to come up with new products to use these tools. So it takes some time. It's taking some time for those tools to get better and better, and the experience to for customers to get better. But it's just a matter of time in that way. On the other side is a matter of perception. Currently, there's a stigma in the mainstream around NFTs. They're associating it with crypto, and all the ICO scams that happened a few years ago. So it's unfortunate that like we're currently, as a company that are using blockchain technology, we're trying to change people's mind about what this technology represents and what it can do, just because there's a stigma around it. So first, it just takes time for us to show what it can do, and that it's a legit use of technology, that the technology works. And two, We're focusing on creating an amazing fan experience. We're not focusing on the NFT technology or the standards that we're using. Yes, we can definitely talk around that, and just uh, uh, a side note, for the tokens for this collection are ERC 721 on the Ethereum blockchain and all that. For the degens that care about that, we're definitely can talk about it. But for the mainstream, they don't know what that is. So we've been intentionally focusing on the fan experience and what they can expect by signing up and buying into what we're selling, and less so about the technology that we use. And our lead investor, Alexis Ohanian, recently was telling us about the early days of Reddit when he was building Reddit, and he built the commenting system and the upvote downvote feature by using Ajax. That you could use Ajax for your page to update without having to click refresh. And he was saying, like when we were pitching this to customers or showing this feature, we weren't talking about Ajax that allow us to do this. We're talking about a feature that allows you to upvote, downvote in real time. So that's what our similar approach from Web 2. History is repeating itself. We're focusing on the experience that this technology unlocks.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying because I know I'm guilty of that. Sometimes, we get a lot of techie stuff in there, and a lot of people just don't care. They want to know, how is this product going to benefit me? What is this going to? How do I use this from a user perspective, and not all the techie stuff? So I completely agree.
Absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, I'm guilty myself. I engineer background, so I love getting into the nitty gritty, and back when I was getting into blockchain, reading the white papers and really digging into it. But the reality is, like, most people don't really care outside of the engineers and the developers and the people that are really into this stuff. So yeah, just have to make it easy for them to understand, so they can adopt it and wrap their heads around it.
Completely agree. Yeah, so I know we're coming to the top of the hour. I'll open it up. Any other questions from any of the speakers? Any questions or comments? All right. And then, Hiram, what do you want to leave us with? So, reminder to everybody, the link is on top. Today is the last day to claim the poster, and this will give you priority access for the drop next week. But what do you want to leave us with, Hiram? It's been great chatting with you as always. Sorry for making you get up early, but I'm glad you had your Starbucks coffee and not Dunkin' Donuts, because then there would have been problems.
Overpriced, absolutely.
No, it's been great to jump on here with you. You have an amazing Twitter space. For any of the other people that are listening, if you have any questions, join our Discord. Drop the question there, and happy to answer any questions you have for us. We're super excited to start our journey on creating this new fan experience and providing fan ownership. So I hope that you join us on this journey.
Love it, love it. Just the fact, yeah, I think, people in the NFT space, like on NFT Twitter, I'm gonna call it, they are always, oh, these projects don't have any utility, don't have any utility. Well, here you go. Here's utility.
Yeah.
So check it out. Make sure to follow the LALA account. Give Hiram a follow as well. Again, free. You could claim the poster for free to priority access for the droplet next week. And yeah, we're looking forward to see how it goes. I'll definitely be participating, and I appreciate you coming by and sponsoring our show. We're always happy to connect with you and the team.
Thank you. And yeah, and also one more thing. if you're curious about the artwork, we're gonna be revealing it in Discord. We've revealed parts of it, but we're gonna do the full reveal, I believe, on Monday. So if you, I think it's amazing art. I hope everyone likes it. Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that. Paulo is an amazing artist, very well recognized in Latin America. So definitely excited to see that artwork. But yeah, we don't want to, we're at the top of the hour and I want to be respectful of your time. So I want to, again, thank you for coming. And we're going to keep it going for the second part of our show. But if you need to drop off, totally understand. But we really appreciate you coming by and sharing with us.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.